Hey guys, LJ from SBYGO here, coming at you with a deck profile. This time it's going to be my own deck that I've been playing recently, that I actually got first place with in a tourney recently, like around 2 weeks ago I think. I just never got around to doing the deck profile, but I finally had some free time, so I wanted to go ahead and do that so I can show you guys. Other than that, I have a couple more deck profiles that I'm going to be going up to either tomorrow or tomorrow afternoon or the day after. Pretty much is going to be of two of our own teammates from SBYGO, which is going to be Jared and Ryan, that they recently just got. Well, Jared's deck that he's going to be doing, he got first place one tourney, and then recently he got second place, while in that same tourney, Ryan got third place. It was great, I'm proud of him, and so I'm going to go ahead and make him a deck profile so you guys can see what he was playing. But further ado, here we go. Alright guys, so moving on to the deck profile, here we go. Tri-Brigades pretty much. I went 5 rounds of Swiss and I went X1 with this deck. I really like this deck, it's very consistent, honestly. Pretty much you have a lot of different plays you could do. It took me a while to kind of get an understanding because this is actually my first real like link heavy deck I've ever actually played. So link climbing was kind of new to me, but in the end, you know, it's a really cool deck that I got to play and I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, so moving on to the deck list. 3 Fractal, pretty standard, all the names, lets you go ahead and start your engine pretty much. 3 Kit, which helps you dump the Nervals or whatever you need to dump, and the Nerval's pretty much your searcher, and then just 2 Crass. Some people play 3, some people, well actually most people shouldn't even play 1, it makes no sense to do that. But this is pretty much standard, honestly. You don't want to draw into these too much unless you actually have one of your other Tri-Brigade names, then it usually works out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's a total of what, 11 names, yeah. And then pretty much for the Zodiac engine, 1 Rat, 2 Thoroughblades. At one point I was thinking about doing the Ram, but I only really went up against one person who I felt threatened by traps, and that was against my friend Alex and his PK deck, because you know Fog Blade's pretty much wreck. I did lose to him. He was my actually one loss of that whole event, but yeah, it doesn't come up enough where I would want to put in a Thoroughblade. Next, a run for the hand traps, just 3 Ash, and then 3 wonderful common effect dealers. Pretty generic, they help out in most situations, honestly. You can kind of just use them in any matchup that you're threatened by anything. But yeah, so that's pretty much the monsters. Alright, so moving on to spells. Got 3 Tenki. I got commons only right now because those are the only ones I could get. I've been trying to get secrets. I'm not even going to try to get the ultimate rares because they're way too expensive. But yeah, pretty much wrote it as a deck if you don't know what it does. 1 Zodiac Barrage, 1 Airborne Assault. Zodiac Barrage really just to get out your Zeus if you ever need it, because Zeus is still a card and it is really great in a lot of situations where you can't combo off and you want to be able to just kind of blow your opponent's board up pretty much. And then Airborne Assault, this one I'm not really sure about. It's a nice tech to have in the deck just because in situations where you open up with either only 1 craft or 1 name or something like that, it does come in handy, so you can kind of try to get 2 in the grave and then like go from there. But it's not amazing, it's not like game changing, it's just one of those generic extenders that you can play with your Tri-Brigades that might help out. Next, the most hated card in this deck, I hate Pot of Desires. This card it's needed, but at the same time there are a lot of games where you pretty much will use Pot of Desires because you're kind of relying on it at that point, and then you'll banish a lot of stuff that you might have needed or might have wanted to use, and you're pretty much stuck in a game state where you can't extend any further. Yeah, and then 1-ofs, I just won 1 Harpies and 1 Called By. It's pretty much your generic, help you out in a lot of situations. And then for traps, running 3 Revolts. This is a staple in this deck. I really love this card. It helps you pretty much get your resources back that are banished back into the grave, let you search once you start resolving your effects, and then helps you bring out Shireg or whatever else you might need. Imperms, very standard. 3 strikes. Yeah, can't really say much about strike, it's just hate for a lot of decks. And then my favorite card of this whole deck, Imperial Order. Pretty sure that this might get hit on the ban list, but Imperial Order is great, especially against a lot of decks like Drytrons or whatever decks that might be spell heavy, Adignisters. This deck will just pretty much, if you can get this, if you can resolve this in like turn 1, this will kill your opponent. But yeah, so that's 40 card main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Extra deck is actually pretty standard. I feel like this whole deck is actually pretty standard compared to like other people's. You got one All Mirage for just your Link 1. Then you have your Double Dragon Lords, 2 Farragut, pretty much your advantage gainer and your extra extender. Helps you special summon. Bear Boom for the Revolt Search. Rugal and Doom Eagle for your level 3s, or Link 3s, sorry. 2 Shurigs, because Shurig is the best and I love this card so much. I mean, just look at that art. Like, you can't tell me that this card is not like super cool. But yeah, moving on, you have your Appaloosa for your negates, access code for the OTKs, and then just your Zoo Engine, which is just Chalk, Tiger, Borbo, and my favorite card out of all time, Zeus. So yeah, so this really went well. I wouldn't change anything out of the extra deck. I mean, there is situations with Contact C. That's why I see some people playing like, what is it called? Asa. But if they Contact C you can still resolve your Tri-Brigade effects because you're pretty much special summoning, not link summoning. So it's pretty cool. And then moving on to extra deck, or not extra deck, sorry, side deck. Just have 2 Lancias for the mirror matches and for anybody who really just banishes like PKs or whatever. 2 Drolls, really good. Doesn't really affect the meta in my locals that much, but it's still a card to play. Nibiru's for the combo decks. And then I run 3 Lightning Storms because I love Lightning Storm. 3 Cosmic Cyclones. This could be Twin Twisters. I would change it to Twin Twisters honestly because having that option to destroy 2 is pretty good. And then 3 Dark Rulers because sometimes people build really big boards with like a bunch of negates and you might not be able to kill them that turn, but at least you'll be able to break their board. So yeah, so that's pretty much the deck that I've been running. Love it. Honestly, I've actually fallen really hardcore in love with it. I still play all this other stuff every now and then, but yeah, for the most part, this deck is just really fun, really consistent. I can see why people do say it does get boring because this deck does pretty much do the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, so that was my Tri-Brigade Zodiac deck, first place. Yeah, gonna be showing you guys some more love tomorrow with Ryan and Jared's decks, and if I can get my boy T-Man from our locals, which you guys should subscribe to him. He has some good content. He does a lot of feature matches and stuff like that he puts up, because he actually takes the time to set up his stuff and record during our tourneys, which I should start doing honestly. But yeah, he has a lot of good stuff. Hopefully I can do a video with him eventually. I want to do like a deck profile of his stuff. He's playing Mech Knights right now and that's a cool deck. But yeah, so hopefully you guys like the video. Hopefully you guys can see what I was playing and how I played it and everything like that. I will hopefully try to put some duels up of this deck. But yeah, I still do have a pure Zodiac build that I have, so let me know in the comment section, guys, if you guys actually do want to watch that. I took it apart because I did run Mystic Mine and I ended up lending Mystic Mines to our friend who wanted to play them. So yeah, so it's kind of how I ended up building this deck, honestly. He came up to me, asked if he could use the Mystic Mines. I told him, yeah, for sure. And then instead of trying to figure out what other cards to put in my pure Zodiac build, he just asked me if I wanted to buy Tri-Brigades. So I was like, sure, why not? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you guys did. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave that below. Yeah, this is LJ from SBYGO. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Like, comment, subscribe.